Hello to my fellow warriors out there. I'm Chief Petty Officer Tony Woody, U.S. Navy, retired. I served for 22 years in the Navy, all of it as a flight engineer on the P-3 Orion aircraft. I was the senior instructor flight engineer and model manager for the EP-3 electronic surveillance and reconnaissance spy plane squadron fleet for the entire Navy for the whole planet. That job required I have a top secret SCI level security clearance, and I've logged over 10,000 hours of flight experience. I only tell you that to establish my credibility for what I'm about to say about my own near-death experience that happened during an aircraft incident on an emergency landing during a 3-engine landing. And the problems I'm going to talk about are also the problems of the after effects created in my life after that near-death experience happened. Yes, there are after effects that you may not be aware of, especially if you've had one and you're living it and don't even know you're having these after effects, which is what happened to me. So hopefully I can help you find your own answers about your experience and what it means to you, so you don't have to seek for over 30 years like I did to try and get answers. So as a warrior who's had multiple near-death experience, out-of-body experience, and spiritually transformative experiences, which I'm sure you've never heard of some of these things if you haven't been seeking for decades like me. And I had that happen during my military service, and I'm here to tell you, I'm sure as many other veterans are, warriors, we're finding out that combat veterans especially are having a high number of these things, and they can't talk to anybody about it. And I'm here to tell you that you can find your answers to these questions about your experiences, and there are places you can get support for them as well. And I want to help you avoid the trial and error process I went through for over 3 decades looking for my answers, and the support I needed after my experience in the light when I desperately needed answers about what happened to me. And I know you feel that way too, especially if it's a very fresh experience. You might experience whether you might question whether your experience was even real, like I did at first, but I know it was real, and I know you know too. It was far more real than life itself, and if you've been there, done that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You might be afraid to discuss your experience with others for fear of not being believed. That's why I didn't say much for after 20, 30 years. Or you're afraid of being diagnosed as mentally ill, and or you're fearful of losing your security clearance like I was, which would affect your career. The profound after effects of a near-death experiences are substantiated in the field of near-death studies over the past 50 years. And that was unknown to me for decades when it happened to me, and I had nowhere to turn for help. And that caused big problems for me in my life, had life-changing impacts on a lot of people, not just me, family and everybody. So my experience happened during a 3-engine emergency landing in a P-3 Orion aircraft. That's a 70-ton, 4-engine heavyweight airplane. And the pilot made a mistake and put in incorrect rudder during the 3-engine emergency landing. And because we have fire trucks on the side of the runway waiting there to take care of anything if it goes wrong in case we crashed, we departed the runway and we were going directly at one of the fire trucks. I mean, straight at it. I suddenly had death coming at me at over 135 knots. It's about 155 miles an hour. And there was absolutely nothing I could do about it. It was coming at that speed, and I knew it. And all I could think about was, I'm never going to hold my son again. He was a little over 3 years old. I was never going to see my wife, my family. You would believe all the stuff that goes through your head in an instant, in that moment, when you know it's over. I didn't think I was dead. I knew it was coming, and there was nothing I could do. In that moment, all of a sudden, I find myself outside the airplane, looking down on everything from like 20, 30 feet up, all over all of it. And I'm still having the perspective of the me in the seat. So somehow I'm in 2 places in the middle of all this, and I have no idea what's going on. I'm totally confused. Panic. The me in the seat was terrified emotionally. I could feel that energy. And the me outside the plane was totally calm, as if just an observer watching everything. everything too. It got really strange after that. Uh, that ended up triggering a full-blown spiritual experience where I was in the light, and it was powerful, life-changing event. I knew I was in the presence of my Creator. You can't not know, because the energy is blasting through you of love, peace, harmony. So many things happen there. Sorry, I don't want to get off on a tangent, but I know you guys went through that too. If you've had these experiences and it's been difficult for you to try and overcome all this and try and figure out what happened to you. And I went through that too for decades, to the point where it caused me to have problems with alcohol, marital problems, cost me a marriage, ended up getting a divorce, and it was decades before I could integrate all this into my life to fully understand what happened to me. So it's critically important, because one of the biggest things that happened to me that was the worst thing that could have happened in the beginning was I went to the church to ask for help, and my pastor literally listened to me and then turned his back on me and walked off and didn't say a word. Just left me standing there stunned, needing help, needing answers, and I got nothing. And I quickly learned I'm not supposed to talk about it, but that comes with consequences too. So if you want to learn more about why it's let me just say this. Initially, it's critically important to validate someone's experience with the understanding that it was very real to them. I didn't get that. My pastor didn't do that at all. And to help a person struggling with the after effects, one just needs to be supportive, be a good listener, while allowing the person to talk about their experience openly without fear, judgment, or any ridicule. Allowing someone to discuss openly and completely what happened to them is crucial when helping someone process their experience, especially in the beginning, right after it's first happened and it's still very fresh for them. And family and caregivers can play an important role in helping their loved ones to integrate and process their experience by validating, educating, and supporting them as well. And you need to understand that NDEs and STEs and things like that are life-changing events that are very real to the experiencer, and the impact rolls out to the families and friends of the experiencers and can have very negative impacts. And it's better to help and learn about it than it is to struggle like I did. So know that the experiencer, along with the family, need to learn how the NDE after effects create such a life-changing experience and can cause major problems as they try to understand and integrate that NDE experience into their lives over time, while seeking answers to try and learn what and how an NDE, STE, or OBE, or a combination of any of them. I ended up having all three of them. Some people have just one or two or more. Means to that individual experience. Ultimately, no one else can do that for the experiencer but them. So hence our journeys through life are and always will be individual journeys as we seek through life experiences to learn who and what we all truly are in this collective yet also individual experience, totally individual experience we call life. Family and friends can join the experiencer in finding answers to those questions and learn what happened during their experience through books and other educational materials about near-death experiences, and by finding local near-death experience support groups. They are out there. You can find them, and I'll give you some links to help you do that. And they'll help you know that your experience was real and was life-changing with definite after effects. Even if you aren't fully aware of the after effects yourself, you need to go find out about them, learn about them, and get the support you need. I struggled for over 3 decades without knowing where to get real answers about what happened to me. Today, you don't have to do that. Know that you are your best advocate. You are not alone. And there are places to get answers. And to help you find your own answers about what your experience means to you, I suggest you start by reading books and many other educational materials out there about experiences similar to yours. I have some valuable resources I'm going to leave for you here to help you find a group near you through the International Association of Near-Death Studies organization. And then there's some other links too that I'm going to share with you, especially some with veterans talking about their own near-death experiences like I had. So you're not alone. There's many others out there like you that have had these experiences, and you can get all the help you need. And here's how you do that. So it's been a blessing sharing my experience with people. I hope you learn how to do the same thing. God bless you all. Know that you're not alone. These things really do happen. It happened to me. It happened to you. There are answers. There are answers. The one primary answer is love. It's always about love. God bless you all. Thank you.